A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into yet another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox as we get into an interesting time in the sports world. A lot of discussion out there, pretty much everywhere I go on this 5-and-5 deal and kind of what it means for the upcoming season, what it's going to mean down the road, and you combine it with everything else that we're still trying to get a handle on with NIL, and at some point there has to be some sort of a collective bargaining agreement. And all of that. Jay Paterno laid out, I forget if it was last week or a couple of weeks ago now, but in his column, a pretty good piece that I think addressed a lot of the issues that are really right now causing problems because there's no clear cut decision on how some of these things are to be handled or will be handled moving forward. And at least the 5-and-5, if it gets ratified, and I think we're 10 days away from the vote, but it sure sounds like the momentum is on the side here of starting it. There's still a lot of questions around it, and how some things will be handled with it, but generally speaking, this one, again, at least makes it pretty clear cut. All right, your clock has started.
Yeah, see, I
Bummer
like that.
if you're hurt. Yep.
I like that option of it because it takes all the other crap out of it, which seems to be distorting the game and then recruiting classes and stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes. However, I agree with that. I do think it creates some unexpected, tough situations potentially in the upcoming season where, again, I think moving forward, coaches and athletes and everybody involved, all right, we have a pretty good understanding. I think in the moment, right, if hey, Johnny, we wrestled you this year, but we're going to redshirt you next year. Or, more unfortunately, for some of these athletes, if you redshirted last year with the idea, hey, you're going to be a starter this year, and we're going to flip-flop the roles, and now, well, no, there is no flip-flopping. Well,
too bad.
Again, that is where I think, no matter, if this is the route you go, at some point, somebody's going to get caught in the crosshairs here, and I don't know. I am interested to see. I am a little surprised at how quickly this seems to have gained as much momentum as it did, because pretty much, human nature being what it is, we resist change. We don't like change. We've had 4 years of eligibility being the rule for all of our lifetimes, no matter how old you are out there listening, or actually 3 years eligibility for a good chunk of our audience, and then went to 4 years of eligibility. There was a long period of time where freshmen were ineligible. Now, again, for at least the 70s on, it's been 4 years of eligibility that we've known, and then just like that, we go to that 5th year as an option for everybody, or at least an availability for everyone. And again, it does change kind of the way college athletics, I think, is handled, certainly by the coaches and even families. Hey, let's take a year and concentrate on academics and do what you need to with your sport. Well, all of that's out the window. Now you have five years of eligibility. Clock starts right away, and you're getting paid.
Yeah.
So there's added incentive on the athletic front. maybe not as much on the academic front, and that is, for many, the concern here still moving forward.
That's the one thing you don't hear about college athletics right now is the word academics.
Not much.
You do not hear it at all anymore. I mean, honest to God, it's just like, wow. So you ask why you think it moves so fast, and that is because the NCAA and the colleges are sick and tired of having to fight these lawsuits every year because of guys trying to get eligibility. Just make the rule, get it over with, boom, cut it, and go from there. I like it. I appreciate it. The one thing that I just absolutely hate is that you're not going to have a record that's not from this era.
Correct.
It's Carter Sirachi 5 is now a possibility again.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say how many guys have won 4?
Right.
And then there's one winning 5. So it's like the opportunity is there when we've been sitting there for the last 3 years saying, well, there is no other opportunity for anybody to ever have 5 years. And now here we are 1 year later, boom, we're getting ready to go do that.
Yeah. In terms of the lawsuits, this does not end that at all. If anything, I think it opens up.
You think so? I think the rule is cut and dry. Like you got 5 to do 5. That's it.
Yep.
I think
and immediately we're going to have lawsuits if they haven't been. Well, I guess you got to wait till the rule goes voted on May 22nd. But I would expect May 23rd. You are going to hear from 6th and 7th year college students pursuing master's degrees saying, "Excuse me, what?"
Hold on. So they're going to institute that right away, so they're cut right off the get? Or no, just going forward?
Correct. Moving forward. This is five years of eligibility and 5 years to get it.
So somebody who's going into their 6th season next season is not going to lose the 6th year. Right? If they're practicing right now, they already have their 6th year granted, the medical red shirt.
If they've had it granted.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
But if you're a 4th year senior going into your 5th year and you're staying at school, sorry, you're out.
How's that?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying is if you think this is solving all of the issues on the eligibility front, wrong.
How does a 4th year senior who will have a 5th year because it's 5 years to do 5, how's he getting the boot?
Because it goes into effect this coming season. It'll be with the student athletes who have not already used their eligibility under what was then the NCAA rules. So, yes, if you are a 4th year guy and you want that 5th year, you can, potentially file a suit. If you are, again, a 6th year grad student or 7th year grad student, not just now, but moving forward, it's like, well, why? Who are you to tell me, dear NCAA, that I only get the 5 years? I'm going to college for 6 years, for 7, for 8 years. And there's earning potential here. And the heck you're going to tell me I can't continue to pursue that? You're out of your mind. So the lawsuits are coming. That this is not going to prevent that in any way, shape, or form. So, if anything, it just opens the door a little more. It's like, well, that now we've established that the 4 years was arbitrary. How is 5 years any less arbitrary by the NCAA?
But they'll do the right thing. They're the smartest people in the world.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting because I don't know. Again, there's just so many moving parts, and I've asked a few people that are a little more involved, and I do think that one of the great issues before us right now is. Everybody seems to agree that there is going to have to be collective bargaining. Who does the collective bargaining? how do they do it on behalf of, do you do it by the conference, which would be even more disastrous, my opinion, or do you have, again, collective bargaining by sport? Do you have collective bargaining by, nope, we just have student athletes represented by X entities? Because, again, various sports and athletes have very, very different issues. And, I still, underlying all of this, to me, is the ongoing concern that at some point in the not too distant future, as these things start to evolve, it is going to be football and basketball saying, wait a second. How are you having collective bargaining for the swimming team or for the wrestlers when they're producing zero income for our school and we're producing all of the income for all of these athletes? And exactly why are we sharing that again? And obviously college sports is changing quickly from what we've known it as, but it is the potential for it to completely, radically change from what we currently know. Because I think while we acknowledge it has changed and changed quite dramatically and substantially, and I think we talked about this a little bit during the season last year. I think for most of us, and when I say us fans, those of us that like college sports, I turn on the TV and it's, oh, they're cool. There's Penn State versus Michigan. I want to watch this game, whether it's wrestling, hockey, basketball, football. And I'm not watching it thinking, oh, yeah, that's right. That Gavin McKenna got 700,000 and he's out there, right? No, I watched it. It's, man, that dude is fun to watch. This team is fun to watch. Oh, this is a good game. And I don't think it has changed much for most fans, like on game day. Well, it is going to change, folks, if only the basketball and the football players are being paid and everything else goes to the quote-unquote amateur model. Then you are going to see significant changes in the way everything is handled, managed, viewed, consumed with college sports. And I'm still not sure that there's a good answer from the athletic directors, from anybody involved, to those that are asking, if you're with football or basketball, why are we doing this again in an era where we're being paid for our production, for what we do? Well,
just put it in Penn State perspective. Why the football players say, why the hell are we paying these basketball players so much money? They're not winning games. They're not bringing people in. But we all know
but they're bringing
the TV
in the
rights,
revenue.
it's the media rights and stuff like that. There's going to be. We've known that. You and I have talked about since we heard it. It's going to be, there's going to be a wrestler, a.k.a. 92% of the guys on the team right now, who are pretty damn famous and are worth a lot of money, and they bring a lot of money into this program, school, and the sport. Just use that as our example of a non-revenue sport that they do bring in money, they do bring in notoriety. So should wrestlers get more? I don't go elsewhere. You got baseball teams playing out there that how many baseball teams are actually making money? How many softball teams, women's sports? It's insane. When is the Title IX thing going to kick in there? Or is that just completely, we just said, okay, it's 50 years old, it's done, we're not dealing with Title IX anymore? Because that seems to have gone by the wayside. No one says a damn word about that anymore.
Oh, well, no, that's not true. There are people bring it up. But again, that's why if you're going to the revenue model, the women's sports and the men's Olympic sports, potentially just go by the board here.
Well, I mean,
Because
didn't we decide? Didn't we not agree? But I think that was what I had heard before was that 70% of football, 10% of basketball, and 20% of the rest of the sports. Isn't that how the revenue broke down with State College or Penn State?
I'm not sure.
Or are those numbers made up?
I don't know.
Well, I remember the football guys get 70%. Then I was like, man, basketball players are only getting 10%. And I'm like, there's only 12 guys.
Right.
So you got to put that into perspective. And then say you have the other 20% that's still out there, and that's for every one of your other sports. So that could be $1 million, but 20 ways, and how
not every one of your other sports.
Yeah.
Which is part of the issue. Again, it's it is a mess. I think that the 5 and 5 is an attempt to clean up a small part of it to a small degree. I don't know.
See, Jeff, I got to stop you there. Is your 5th year on you, or is it invited? Because when I played, it was you needed to be invited back for your 5th year.
Well, the contracts, this is you have 5 years of eligibility, and the clock starts either upon your graduation. No.
What they're voting for.
Now there is no your clock can start whenever you start college, so it does not start when you graduate high school.
Okay, so I get that. So
age.
You have 5 years to do 4 years of eligibility currently, right?
Yes, but that clock it's not defined when that clock starts. Now it starts when you finish high school.
So the old clock started. The old clock was there that we looked at was the clock because of the NFL draft. It's not the NFL draft they're worried about. Now it's about guys staying in college. Holy crap!
Right.
No, but you hear what I'm saying though is that again, wrestling is so different with their red shirt because it's the Olympic year red shirt, the medical, it's crazy. But football, when my 5th year came up for Penn State, I had done my 4 years. I had a 5th year eligibility left. I had to have been asked by, the coaches said, yes, you are invited back for your 5th year. And that wasn't just an assumed thing. It was sort of Joe's way and Penn State's way of saying, hey, it's time for you to move on. You've had your, 4 years here. It's not, you're not going to play next year. Move on.
At least theoretically, that is every year now. Like you come, we're paying you for the first year.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then you decide whether you want to go somewhere else. We'll decide whether we want to bring somebody else in.
Now I think about
it to take up the roster spot.
Yeah, that was the Joe Pa thing.
That is an every year.
Yeah, Joe Pa
situation now.
Joe Pa gave you 4 years, and he would never run you out until after your 4th year.
And again, I think there are schools. But
you're right.
I think Penn State would tend to still honor that. Let's say, hey, so long as you're doing what's asked of you, right, and you're not creating problems within the team, you're not creating any issues. I think Penn State, at least right now, would. Hey, yep, you're back unless again there's.
If you're not going to play, they're not going to invite you back.
I don't know. I don't know that that's necessarily true. Again, depending a little bit on the sport and the roster size, but football, you need some good practice guys. Like that's just a fact, and more important, maybe now. With the 5 years of eligibility that you have guys that are willing to be strong practice guys and stick around, whether or not you're going to be a starter or a game day contributor. And again, you go right down the line with the other sports. You're trying to manage a bunch of different things there as a coach and as a player. And again, we've some. some people want the opportunity. It's just like with the transfer portal. There are some people, and I don't fault. By the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with any of the scenarios I'm laying out. It's personal preference and what you're wanting out of your career. But there are people, right, that, hey, yeah, my dream was always to be a Penn State football player. Well, yeah, but you could be you could go to Rutgers and be a starter. I'm not trying to pick on Rutgers, but, well, yeah, but my dream was to be part of Penn State. And so I want to be part of Penn State. And I'm getting X amount of money, and I like the coaches, I like the situation. And other athletes, it's like, well, I always wanted to be a starter in college. And yeah, I came to Penn State and I thought it might work out. It's not working out. It's nothing against Penn State. I still like my coaches, like my teammate, but yeah, I wanted to be a starter. Like that was my dream, is to be a Division I college football player or a basketball player or a hockey player or whatever the case may be. And so, it's not that I think necessarily that there's any more honor in doing one thing or the other. It's just, again, personal preference and how you see things playing out. And it's the same thing. Like, there's going to be people that are driven by, I want to be a 5-year starter, and others that aren't going to mind, hey, if I bide my time for a couple of years, I think I'll get a crack, and I'm okay if I'm a 2 or 3 year starter, or even in some cases a 1 year starter. It's not going to be, hey, everybody's in the same boat. And, part of it is recognizing your talent level, the program you're in, and the opportunities there, both in school and once you graduate. All of those things presumably will come into play. But I still, just going back to the eligibility itself, again, on the surface, yep, it's clear, cut and dried, except it's not, because there will be challenges. I mean, there's just no, we already have challenges. There are people out there saying, who already are in court with the NCAA saying, hey, who are you to tell me I can't compete for 7 or 8 years if I'm pursuing a degree at a school and I'm really good at the sport and the coaches want me and I want to be out there. Who are you to tell me I can't do that just because I happen to be now a 6th year graduate, master's pursuing individual. And I don't know. I don't know enough about the law on these things. And I think, again, that's why ultimately all of this stuff has to be collectively bargained. But I just don't know what the setup there is, because if it's a collective bargaining by sport, the athletes representing Penn State are going to be very different than the athletes representing, a school that only had, let's say, just has Division I basketball and doesn't have any other Division I sport.
Georgetown.
Well, those athletes are not in the same boat, are not going to be fighting for the same things or the same cut of the pie and all of the things that come into play. So I still think that's, and even like the Big Ten and the ACC are going to be seen, like from the athlete standpoint, I think are going to be seeing things differently. Certainly if you go to the Mid-American Conference versus the SEC or something, are you going to have equal representation from the student athletes among all of the conferences? And again, how do you go about determining who is handling the collective bargaining and for how long that collective bargaining agreement is in place? I think that stuff is really, really tricky. And, a football player and a swimmer or a gymnast are to have equal representation there. It seems unlikely with the number of programs, for one thing. So I don't know how you end up doing this, the collective bargaining I'm talking about, because you can't just like pick one student athlete from each school and all right, you go represent us. Well, if I'm picking a softball player and another school's picking a football player and another school, well, they're entirely different expectations, entirely different viewpoints. So I don't know. Again, that is step one of trying to figure this whole thing out. And I think no matter what you do there, you're going to have people upset and complaining about it, meaning like the student athletes themselves. It's like, well, hey, I'm not being fairly represented. Or, all right, well, now our sport, obviously we're going to get the short end of the stick because we're not one of the two revenue producers. I think there might be a handful of hockey teams, if that, that are revenue producers. I don't know of any other sport outside of football and men's basketball. There might be a program here or there in other sports that are bringing in more than they're losing, but it is very much the exception, and I don't think there's enough programs. I'm very confident there are not enough programs.
You say bring in revenue. You bring in revenue. That's not
more than your
not NIL money, not Penn State Wrestling Club money. This is truly ticket sales, food sales, everything that you get at a university.
Media, everything surrounding.
Do they get paid for having the NCAAs on ESPN? To the schools or to the actual conferences?
Well, that's an interesting.
Oh boy, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, well, the Big Ten Network. If you look at the numbers, like for wrestling, that what you're told is that wrestling doesn't really bring in the TV revenue, but it does. But how do you figure out the percentage of it? Like they're bidding on the rights to football and basketball.
That's non-Big Ten.
That is
that's nationally.
That is the problem. Trying to,
in essence, CBS,
to figure that
NBC,
out.
ABC, Fox, ESPN, FS1 could come into the Big Ten and say, "Listen," or come into the NCAA wrestling and just saying, "Hey, we want to broadcast one match a week, the biggest match in the country every week." And then the Big Ten, whatever's not being broadcast nationally is on the Big Ten network.
Conceivably,
yes, that's how money's
there's
made.
A lot, and now with the streaming services and all of that, like now you could get a more, potentially a more accurate account of who is watching what, on a regular basis with the big events, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But when you add in the expenses, again, for these sports, as they're currently comprised, there's very, very few of them that are making money at this point. So it becomes difficult when you're, generally speaking, collective bargaining, it's like, hey, we want a bigger piece of the pie, the overall revenue that's coming in. Well, there's not revenue coming in, with the exception of football and basketball. And so I also think that makes it a little more challenging to go in and, all right, so you're going to collectively bargain to get more of the minus $250,000.
You want to take on more debt?
Brought in or didn't bring in the course of the past year. That seems like a pretty tough proposition at the negotiating table. All right, let's take a break here. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. We are Quaker Steak and Lube. We'll get into some of the weekend sports results after this.
You look a bit nervous, eh?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, Coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
I'm back here on a Tuesday afternoon, coming off another busy little weekend in the world of sports. Congratulations to the Penn State men's lacrosse team, Jeff Tambroni and his squad taking care of business at home against Army. I think they're back to just Army. For a few years there, it was
Army at West Point, right?
Yeah, they were demanding that they be called Army West Point. Now
they're said it on
okay. Yeah, they're okay with being called Army once again. But
the bracket you just saw, did it not say Army at West Point?
Yeah, it's but they're okay being called Army again. If you watch the telecast on,
because it's so funny that you say that, because I was like, now we start doing this. I mean, Army is Army.
Yeah, for a few years that was they were like, you got to call us, and it's. I don't know. I feel like anytime anybody does that, Pitt wanted to be called Pittsburgh for a short instant.
Yeah.
South Carolina was we're the real USC. No, you're not, and it's just sorry, it's just.
How about their complex? And then they say, well, we're the real Carolina too. And you're like, nah, you're over 2 in this one, guys.
I did not realize. I just caught my attention here. Fernando Tatis apparently has not had a home run yet this season, and the Padres are in first place ahead of the Dodgers right now. I didn't realize he's putting up good numbers, but I guess I did not realize he is not.
It's the Turtles guy.
Run. I think he has the second most plate appearances without a home run so far this season in all of Major League Baseball. It's an interesting little nugget.
Wow.
But yeah, the Mad Turtle very happy that the Padres are currently in first place. The Pirates, meanwhile, 5 games out, they just cannot make up ground because the Cubs can't lose a freaking game. It is eventually that has got to change up a bit. But man, it's been tough sledding in that National League Central. I keep again at some point that's got to separate out a little bit, but to this stage of the season, everybody in that NL Central has been playing good baseball at the very least. But the Pirates let another one get away on Sunday. Man, it is frustrating. It's just frustrating being a Pirates fan when these are games that are just so doggone winnable and just I don't know. There's a lot of talk about the last play and whether or not should have thrown it at home.
I have a question.
And should have. And a lot of people are saying, well, I mean, the chances of that. Okay. Again, we go back to this every now and then. It's just, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's just an old school thing. You are getting paid very well to play a game. I don't think it is too much to ask myself that in exchange for that, you go all out on every single opportunity you have. I don't care if, Ironhead, 99% of the time, there's not even going to be, okay, I want you to make it a play 100% of the time so that 1 out of 100, you get it. I get that, well, why am I going to go all out to first base on a grounder that's right to the first baseman? Because once in a blue moon, the guy may trip, goofy stuff can happen. Ironhead, come on. Like now you're down to 999 out of Yep. I want you to run the whole way to first base, like sprint as fast as you can every time. I want you to catch every fly ball when there's somebody on base as though you are going to make a play at the bag or the play. I don't know why that is. And I'm surprised by how many fans like, wow, I mean, yeah, it would have been great and all, but come on, like okay. I mean, we just have different expectations, I guess.
Doesn't it the level of star? Does it change that? Because I know Bryce Harper is notorious for that, just being so frustrated that he gets his head down and just jogs to first base. And it's just like...
Again, I'm not expecting perfection.
I'm
expecting hustle.
Trust me.
I get it doesn't bother me nearly as much as it does others on the other end of it. O'Neal Cruz, that guy is out there trying to figure it out defensively. Now, does it drive me crazy in the moment that, man, what? Okay, but again, errors are part of baseball. You're going to strike out, baseball, the ultimate game, and teaching you how to deal with failure, all of that. It doesn't bother me in terms of what I'm expecting. I mean, it bothers me if you fumble or you throw an interception. But, man, if you're out there, that doesn't bother me nearly as much as, you're lollygagging and strutting into the end zone and you get, hit at the 5-yard line. Well, that, what are you doing?
Yes.
Just get maximum effort. That to me is what fans, teams, teammates should be demanding. Maximum effort. And, then again, it's frustrating with that bullpen. I think they're all doing their best. I just don't think it's good enough at the major league level and for the Pirates to be a contending team right now. But I don't think it's a lack of effort. I don't think they're being up there lackadaisical. Not throwing the ball in and getting yourself ready. That's being lackadaisical.
Did they lost the game that they were ahead 6-0 on Sunday? Or am I confusing?
I don't think it
games?
was 6-0, but they blew 3 different leads in the game, and it was just very frustrating. And they left
enough on base
to go.
Well, let's talk about
they
this
had
week.
runners at first and third with nobody out, and weren't able to get a run in, and that's
first and third, nobody out.
Yep,
ground and double
nobody.
play. And then the run would have scored if they did a double play. So
it was just very frustrating game.
So Ironhead and I have done our homeworks. Phillies Pirates this week.
Yeah.
As of right now, if there's no rainouts this week, Skeens is pitching this afternoon. Wheeler's pitching for the Phillies tonight. Sunday, those two will go head to head. Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh. Zach Wheeler and Paul Skeens.
That would be fun for the
holy
fans.
Crap, man!
On a Sunday, no less.
Wheeler pitched the other day, and he looked back. He had a couple, shoddy performances, and then the other day he was on time and on target. So interesting to see. Can't wait to see it. So
it'll be.
You get Sanchez. That means you get Sanchez. You'll get Sanchez Saturday. He's a delight. He's good as hell. I want to see him versus Cruz. I want to see Cruz as a lefty power guy against a lefty who's just throwing just absolute carnage up there. It's amazing what he's doing right now with the Phillies. And I just noticed, were you here when I saw that? The Phillies are in second in the NL East. And I was like, get the hell out of here with how bad that they were playing early, losing 12 games in a row. Fire and Topper, then they go to Mattingly, and now they've won 4 or 5 series. They were with him, with Don Mattingly. So it's changed around, but I mean, geez, it doesn't hurt that the Mets stink. Really stink. But I got to figure out is Atlanta in first? So it's Atlanta and Philly. So, okay.
Yeah, Atlanta has the best record in the National League right
crap
now.
Out of people.
I think even better than the
Phillies are 19-22, and they're in second place in the NL East.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
you guys got a great record.
Pirates are struggling to stay out of the basement, and they're playing good, not great, but good baseball. They got to get some things cleaned up here, moving forward. But
so, is there any kind of wager you'd like to have for this weekend series, sir?
There is not,
Jeffrey.
There is not.
There's nothing.
I am not interested.
Jeez, Louise. I did see that the Eagles sort of semi-schedule, which comes out Thursday, by the way, the schedule release for the NFL. Some things have leaked out.
Yeah.
I think that the Eagles are playing the Steelers this year. I think it's in Philly. I think so. Which has been a long time since they played in Philadelphia. Carson Wentz, I think, was the quarterback the last time that Pittsburgh played in Philly. And that was 17, so that was the Super Bowl year. Premonition, Jeff. Premonition.
Boy. There you go. Good times, good times.
Did you look at anything? Have the Steelers at all released? Has
I
anything
saw
leaked?
Giants and Cowboys, which has people talking on opening weekend. Hey, it does matter when you play, but it doesn't at this stage. It doesn't. Like injuries and all of the things that come into play will come into play, but there's no guarantee. I don't know. It cracks me up when people get worked up about when a particular game is being scheduled.
So people are complaining about the Giants Cowboys being
they think that should be a later in the season.
Right.
That's my question. I don't.
You don't want to have all your conference in division battles at the end of the season. You got to play something.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have them play early than twice in 3 weeks. That the Phillies played, the Eagles played the Giants last year, or the Redskins 2 out of the last 3 weeks. So weird. I'd rather have them play week 1 and 17 than something like that.
I would agree, but people get worked up about the darndest things.
All right, so let's get back to working up here. So I did some numbers in my head.
Yeah.
Took a while.
It would take me a long while.
So I want to talk to you about revenue for wrestling. Okay, so you have I always do this to make it easier on us because we're not the smartest guys in the world. So I always say a scholarship to Penn State with everything said and done is $50K because you have in-state, out-of-state. They sort of blend together. So the average will probably be 50. So we'll say $50K a person. And with Penn State right now, they have the ability to rock 30 scholarships. No one knows what the plan is, but just say they rock 20. That is $1 million that they're paying just in education. The education and the boarding and the feeding of their athletes. That doesn't include the feeding on the road, their travel as a university, as a team, to and from all of these games. I mean, I'm sure,
or
the cost,
budget.
the recruiting budget, which is obviously huge because it is a national thing. I don't know
for sure.
Does Kale travel, or is it more of a lot of online stuff, phone calls, online type of thing? If he's going to recruit somebody in California,
I mean, no,
you got to bring the kid in.
You want to meet, you want to get an idea. I mean, it depends a little bit on the kid too, but I mean, if you're trying to get a top prospect in, you're likely going out and at least
the way I look at it is it's $10 a ticket average. Probably say we'll go to 15 because they do go to Bryce Jordan Center, or should I go higher on average? And you figure the Bryce Jordan Center holds how many, and then the Rec Hall holds how many. That's your revenue coming in. It's ticket sales, parking, and stuff like that. So that is a lot of money you're coming out of pocket from the athletic department. And that's where the money's not being made up. And there is, that becomes the question. And I don't like to use wrestling because it's like, that's the anomaly. It's like they're so freaking good and they're so worldly known. So we'll say like baseball, say they have a $5 million budget and they're spending $5 million a year, $6 million. I don't know. I don't know what the number is. How are they making that money? And that's where the revenue sharing is. It's going to be crazy because some schools will be paying their kids that play baseball where we may not be paying them a dime. It's a weird world we're living in right now, Ironhead. Very, very, very weird.
It is.
God, and you got to think about that is what schools can do different and this and that, and what a difference that money can make. We're noticing that right now. I mean, there's a reason why no SEC teams have not won a title in 3 years. It's because the Big Ten's got a lot of money. And they're buying the players that used to go to or used to be paid by the SEC.
What?
I didn't say that, Jeffrey.
You. How dare you?
I did not say say I was not insinuating that either. My Lord.
Such a thing.
Holy heck, I would never.
Good.
But, basketball, I mean, look at the University of Michigan wins the national title this year. They have not one returning starter from last year's team. Not one returning starter. All 5 guys come out of the transfer portal. They went out and bought a great team, and they meshed, they mended, they melded. Indiana, they went to the White House this week. Somebody sent me a message. What do you think odds you would have given 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Indiana's going to win a national title within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
What odds? I would have given 5 million to 1.
At least.
And I'll just say, just give me the money. I'm not even going to save it because it's gone. It's just spent money already. And they're visiting the White House as national undefeated champions. Now, that everything to do with coaching, meshing together as a team, but you're getting a good team with you got some influx of money and you're going out there and you're getting the players that you want, and you have a Signetti had a good plan of what he was going to do. I mean, Texas Tech's like that next team. Trey Bauer has said for 2 years that SMU was just a sleeping giant waiting to happen with all the money they have, just waiting for those guys to get right mix, the right formula, and they'll explode on the scene like Texas Tech has. Texas Tech football has always been good, but never that level. I mean, Indiana is the defending national champion, Ironhead. The Indiana Hoosiers.
It is bonkers. And I will say when I really didn't see that one coming, because I really thought when NIL became a thing that it was just going to widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots. But did not take into account, hey, you can get a donor or two, right? If it's the right donor or two, or it could be more. But I mean, but if you get the right donor or two, all of a sudden you can be playing with the big boys, whether or not you're at the top of the heap in terms of the money being paid.
Yep.
You can get enough out there to make it an attractive situation. And again, it's a combination. It's not just the money. I mean, it was getting the right coach, getting the right quarterback. I mean, getting it all to mesh. And there were a couple of I think we talked about this, but a couple of the national folks are like, stop calling Indiana a Cinderella story. This is all bought and paid for. Well, it was bought and paid for, but Indiana, again, I don't know the exact numbers, but they weren't paying their players what Texas or Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State were. Again, it might be up there and very competitive, but it's still, come on, from where they were at. I get that, it is a scenario that would not have happened if not for NIL. I'll concede that point. But to dismiss it as not a Cinderella story because of that, I think is absurd. When you look at the money involved at other programs that have the history, that have the facilities that Indiana does not have. They're working on improving very quickly. But, I mean, come on. That's still an unbelievable
it's an amazing story. It's awesome. It's fantastic. Incredible. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's.
I mean, it gives everybody hope and everybody that we can do this. Yeah, and maybe 10 years before a team like that jumps up. You never know.
Yeah. Also over the weekend, Levi Haynes winning Pan Am gold. Looked very good, winning all 4 of his matches by technical fall, including the first over Mikey Labriola, the former Nebraska standout. Yep.
Levi is off scholarship. He's done. He's a graduate. Talk to me right now. Is he completely, fully sponsored to doing where he's doing
with USA Wrestling? Yes.
Okay, so can you explain that to me?
He gets, I don't know the numbers, but as a member of Team USA, you get, I just haven't looked up the numbers, right, but he also gets money with the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, and there's individual sponsorship opportunities. Obviously, he can go out and solicit from anybody he wants.
Maybe
try to get additional support.
Maybe Levi's not the good because he's on Team USA.
Well,
so anybody out wrestling who's not on Team USA, who is on their own, taking care of. I mean, is somebody wrestling in that event, flying there on their own, paying their own dime and stuff like that to get hotel rooms? And
no, I don't think
most guys are all taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's through individuals or the Nittany Lion Wrestling?
That would be through Team USA, getting those guys there. Now, there's I don't know. It is the amount of money flying around in sport, and it's. I mean, this isn't an NIL thing. Just like even if you had the old school college rules in place, just the amount of money that we, the consumers, spend on sports is really pretty astounding when you figure in the ad revenue, the ticket costs, the parking costs these days. The parking is skyrocketed at a lot of places, including certainly at Penn State. And then you factor in the merchandise and the jerseys.
The new merchandise coming soon.
Yes, and the all of the different things that we collectively spend money on. And then, if you have kids with their sports, but then giving them the opportunity to, again, we had a great time. I actually just rediscovered and wore the Little League World Series shirt from last year in my one drawer. But again, I'm talking more professional and college sports, but just across the board, when you start to factor in sports equipment and again, all of the different things to camps and all of those things associated with youth sports as well. I mean, it is hard to get your head around all of the different sports and all of the different ways that we consume it now with radio, television, streaming, in person, and now everything is you can watch just the highlights in a condensed form. Again, whether it's on TV or through various social media platforms or other streaming channels, it is. As soon as a big play occurs, right, it is, even if you didn't see it in person or were watching it live, within 5 minutes, if it was, wow, that type of a moment, pretty much the entire sporting community has seen it, even if you're not, if it's a spectacular lacrosse goal. And you're like, I'm
Did
not
you
a
see the
lacrosse
one from
fan
Duke
at all.
Richmond?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, what some of those guys are able to do and the way they can see or not even feel the field is it really is remarkable. And I'm telling you, Penn State, the way it's playing, I know this season has not exactly gone according to plan, but they feel like a really dangerous team. And it'll be interesting to see. They match up with the number 1 seed Princeton here on Sunday. That'll be a noon start down in Newark, Delaware. But really feel like Penn State has more than a puncher's chance here with the way they're playing. And again, I think, and it was on display in the Army game, that the thing that makes Penn State, I think, as tricky as anybody out there to play against is the number of different threats they have on the offensive end. You can't zero in on a guy or two with Penn State. I mean, you can, but you're going to get burned by 2 or 3 others. Like they really have a very balanced lineup, and we'll see what happens. Princeton, obviously, and I don't follow it closely enough. I can't sit here and name you the Princeton players or anything. Just presuming as the number 1 seed, they are a very good team. I think Penn State, with the experience it has from last year and kind of the confidence it's gained here with the schedule it's played, I think they're going to be a tough out for anybody, including Princeton here on Sunday. So we'll see. Again, that game will be on ESPNU on Sunday at noon, and might talk a little bit more about that on Thursdays show.
It'll be a warm up for the no-nos that are going to be going on Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh between Skeens and Wheeler.
It is going to be a fun one. Let's take a break here. We are back with much more. It is our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College.
Well, just for a little bit, we have a quieter town here after a graduation weekend at Penn State. Congratulations to all of the student athletes and all of the students in general who picked up their degrees this past weekend. And wish you much success as you go out into the so-called real world. And hopefully you enjoyed the Penn State experience. Saw a lot of social media videos from people proclaiming just that they enjoyed their time at Penn State.
Now they moved home and are already sitting there saying, I want to go back.
Yep. Congratulations also, Susan Robinson Fruchtel getting assistant coaching gig here. And I think, I don't know, I really hope that the Lady Lions, whatever this new college landscape looks like, I do hope Lady Lion basketball, and it feels like now maybe they have a chance to do that, gets back to being, a top 20 program on a regular basis. I really would like to see that program step back to where it was under Rainey Portland, and I think with the leadership that is now in place, they at least have that opportunity here. Certainly some coaches who understand what it means to be part of that Penn State Lady Lion history. And I was glad to see that hire in particular. I know Susan has a lot of pride in Penn State, and her work ethic is just unmatched. And so I think, if Penn State doesn't get back to where it's going to be, it's not going to be because of a lack of want to by that coaching staff. So we'll see moving forward, kind of how quickly they can make some headway in the very tough Big Ten in women's basketball. Talking again, Pirates and Phillies will be coming up later this week. Buccos open up a series against the Rockies. Like to build a little momentum heading into the matchup with the Phillies after, again, letting a series slip away there at San Francisco. Just should have had 2 or 3 there, and unfortunately end up losing 2 of 3 instead. And Rockies are not last year's Rockies, but certainly at home, you'd think an opportunity to at least win a series heading into the matchup with the Phillies, which will at least bring the fans out, Goon, which has been an ongoing talking point in Pittsburgh and in Major League Baseball. The
couldn't tell me that by trying to get freaking tickets to this weekend.
Pirates' lack of attendance. Yes, this weekend should not be a problem in terms of full stands at PNC Park, and particularly on Sunday.
Sunday will be nice, 1:35, but Saturday, 4:05. It's a nice little day right there, buddy. Supposed to be a very, very nice day, but I had a pass. I had a, we ended up, I told you, I said, off the air, I told Jeff I went to Wayne Sebastianelli's funeral this past weekend. It was tough because knowing how healthy and everything Wayne was, and it just a lot of stuff went down, and it was really, really. I was so happy that I went and did it, and me and my wife went up there with my buddy Brad Jones, guy I played with here. So, we were just sitting around telling stories at the end of the day. It's me and Brad are the only 2 guys that were on the team that were there. I know that you just think of off the top of my head, the guys that were there for the funeral, Jesse James was there, Nikki Colella, Steve Jones, Ron Vanderlinden, Franny Gaynor, myself, Jonesy, a guy named Tim Mack. J-Pa was the eulogy. Tom Venarino was there. Tim Curley was there. Eddie Louth is Jesse James' father-in-law. So Eddie and Wayne were very, 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 very close. So a lot of head knockers up there, and Jay and Sue were there, and Jay's wife Kelly, and so Tim Mack, I'll give you some stories here.
Yeah,
called me last week. I don't know if you know Tim. Tim was never really played type of guy on the team. Was a walk-on guy on the team, but he was on the team for 3-4 years and ends up becoming a professional bowler and is in the World Professional Bowl in the PBA Hall of Fame.
No good.
Yeah. And he has had 11 shoulder and arm surgeries, and Wayne Sebastianelli did every single one of them. But he was medically retired because his shoulder and arm were so bad. And then Wayne started working on him. I mean, I'm talking 10, 12 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago. No, that's a little more than that because he was still rolling when I got up here in 2005. So that's 20 years ago that Wayne was starting to work on Tim because his shoulder was already completely destroyed, whether that from being football into bowling or bowling in general. But, you know, Tim's in the PBA Hall of Fame, and he was at the funeral. He sat with me and my wife and Brad. So Brad's got a very particularly great story. Brad was my brother's class below me in 1997 was his last year, but he got medically retired in 96 because he had a blood clot. He played USC in the 1996 Kickoff Classic. I believe it was 96. I think it was, yeah. And he got kicked in his thigh, rib somewhere, where it was like something. It was uncomfortable discomfort and stuff like that. And it was diagnosed that he had a hereditary disease that his body was prone to blood clotting. So football was over and all right then and there. I remember this. So I may have told you this story before, but Brad's mother passed away of cancer a couple years ago. And she always used to say about Wayne, I don't think anybody else would have noticed the blood clots except for Wayne because he was that good. He was that thorough in his examinations and stuff like that. And she just had that feeling, and she would tell Brad that, like, you know, we owe that man your life because you're here now. So I know I have said this story before, and I don't know if it was to you or on the air, but forever, ever that I recall, no matter where we played in this country, we always flew home. And that means we flew home from Philadelphia, we flew home from Pittsburgh, we flew home from West Virginia, Ohio State, even though we may have bussed there. Always flew home, except for the Kickoff Classic in 1996. Joe, something happened where they didn't get flights back or whatever, so they took a bus back. And Brad was suffering in blood clots from that afternoon because he got kicked. He got kneed or something in his rib or his thigh. I forget which one it was. That they thought about it. And he said, Doc, what if we went up in the air and, you know, compressed? And he goes, that blood clot would have gone to your heart. You'd have died right there in that chair, on that airplane and in that chair. And he's like, what? And he was thinking about it, and it was the God's honest truth. I mean, I'm telling you, Jeff, I don't ever remember us. Now, Joe may have. I know that my freshman year, one bus drove home from West Virginia. I guess they only had 2 planes that day, so one bus drove home, and I was on that. I was on the slap bus, so I drove home from West Virginia. But for the life of me, I don't remember us ever not driving. We always used to fly home. And Brad was always saying, like, it was just like one of those things. It was like karma, God's hands reaching out. So we go to the funeral. It was brutally tough. Jay Paterno should be a professional eulogist. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
With what he did for his father and how he handled Wayne Sebastianelli was just amazing. So give you some highlights, and you'll like this. You know Wayne as well as I do. Wayne is one of the greatest human beings in this earth. Just a good freaking human being. So I got a story that I'll tell. So I called Wayne one day when my wife was bartending at Damon she bartended for 20 years.
Yeah.
Her feet were hurting. It was like one of those things. She had plantar fasciitis. So it was just like, he was like, it ended up being, hey, you need to get better shoes when you're going to work behind a bar. You're not as young as you used to be. So, but there's about 5 guys in our house when I called Wayne. And I said, hey, do you mind? And we were watching a basketball game that he was working at. He goes, I'll stop by after the game. So I said, all right. So he comes by the house. But in those 3 hours, me and my friends were telling my wife how creepy of a foot doctor he was. He was a great doctor, but he had issues with women's feet, where he would just be like really, really fetished into them and stuff like that. So Wayne is business, man. He is straight business. So he walks in the door, I introduce, and he goes down to one knee to see her foot. And she's like, oh, my God. And she like freaks out like this guy is creeping me out right now. And he was like, what did you MFers tell her? What did you say? And I was like, you got a creepy foot fetish. And he laughed and loved it. And every time he saw my wife, he would bring that up. And it was just one of those things that was our thing. So we told the wife that. So me and Brad told Mrs. Seabass 2 stories. Told her the blood clot thing and stuff like that. And the other one was that we named him Seabass. It was a combination of Brad Jones and myself. And it all goes back to Dumb and Dumber with, if that's Seabass over there, then yes, and then Wayne Seabass Tonelli. So the man was historically known for 35 years as Seabass because of me and Brad. So, and I said, hey, how are you with the nickname Seabass? Because some women don't like their husbands having weird nicknames. And she says, no, I'm fine with it. I said, okay, good, because me and him named him that Seabass and all that stuff. But I will tell you one more thing. And me and Brad sat with my wife, Kelly Paterno, which is Jay's wife, Jay, and Sue. And I didn't sit with Joe. I did not sit with Sue Paterno. I sat with the deceased. I sat with the widow of my head football coaches from college. It was my football coach's wife, Sue. And that's the thing. It was so special because she sits there and she doesn't have to be Sue Paterno. You know what I mean? She's held in all these different, people hold her up high and this and that. And we do too. It was all love and respect for her.
Yeah.
But she was just in her comfort zone where she could be herself, where she was sitting there telling stories about my mom and dad busting Joe's balls and stuff like that, and how much she loved it. And my wife was loving it. And she was like, that was so cool because she didn't have to be Sue Paterno. She was just, my friend Jay's mom. And that's the easiest way to say it. So we had Ray Rocky here earlier from the brewery, by the way, the greatest dive bar in State College and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Rocky said, when he met Joe, Rocky and Scotty are friends. And he goes, I didn't meet Joe Paterno. I met my friend Scott's father, Joe. And he goes, it was pretty cool. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt about this weekend with Sue.
Yeah.
We are comfortable with her. We've been around her. My wife, she works for the Alumni Association. You see her. It's almost like, oh, my God, it's Sue Paterno, this and that. And Sue is the most grounded person on earth.
For sure.
So we were laughing, and she was talking about Rolling Rock, and she's never had a Rolling Rock, even though she grew up in Latrobe. And I said, don't worry about it. We took care of it. We drank your share. So
got you covered.
Yep, we took care of you. So
it
was awesome. But Mrs. Seabass, she said one thing that really hit me, Jeff, and I'll say it to you, and you've lost loved ones before, and she says, don't sit there and talk to your loved one and say, I can't wait for us to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And the overlying thing was, do it. Go out, have fun. Nothing is promised. Tomorrow is not promised. Go out and drink that wine tonight. Go out, go to that winery, go out, do that vacation, do this, do that. Enjoy yourselves now because tomorrow is not promised nor guaranteed. And that one hit, man.
Yeah.
It just hit hard.
Yeah, it's the truth, and we've had. I will say that is the one thing. Like, aging really hasn't bothered me all that much. I mean, are there times I long for the days of being younger? Of course, but overall, I enjoy getting a little older and hopefully, a little bit wiser, but getting experience and just, I'm enjoying the heck out of parenthood and all of that.
That's great.
But the one thing that is that, and I get, just, you can save the comments. I get it. The no duh. It's just, I had not ever really thought about it, that as you get older, you start to lose more and more people. Like, when you're a kid, you might lose. My first experience with death on a personal level, it wasn't until I was 7. Again, I've talked about it probably too much, but I had an idyllic childhood. I really did.
Yeah.
Just extremely fortunate. But the first time I had personal death experience, it was my great-grandmother, and I was 7 years old. Well, that's not exactly, it was traumatic at the time for me. I was close to her, but she was in her 90s.
Yeah.
She had lived a good life. The funny thing about it, so we go into the funeral home, and again, 7-year-old me, first experience with death on a personal level, and I'm expecting everybody to be in there crying and just inconsolable, and we walk in, and everybody's laughing, and they're sharing stories, and which now makes sense. Well, 7-year-old me was angry. What do you guys do? Do you not know that?
Yeah.
We called her Little Wee Nana. She was. I'm like, do you not see the Little Wee
Little
Nana?
Wee.
She's dead over here.
She was a rapper.
Everybody's just talking exactly. So
Little Wee Nana.
But I'm just like the one thing about getting older that I just didn't think about. And again, I get it. If you spend 2 seconds thinking about it, it's like, well, yes, of course, you're going to start losing more and more people close to you because you're getting older. But man, it is brutal. And every time you get one that is unexpected, I'm with you. It hits hard, and it is a reminder to do what you can.
Live life.
You say about seize the moment and live every day. Okay, not every day is going to be full of adventure, and I get it, but you get the point. And yeah, honestly, you try to make the best of every day and every situation. Sometimes easier said than done, but it is. Again, that one just seemed to come out of left field with Dr. Sebastianelli, but there's been a number of them in the last, probably 10 years, but last year or two, that it's like, what is going on here? But yeah, you can't take anything for granted. Along those lines, while I'm thinking of it, a couple of things on the local front, and I'm going to look up so I get the everything accurate here. But one of the more amazing individuals that I've had the opportunity to meet, and he came in on when we were doing the morning show on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. We had just a wonderful time, actually. And this was last summer. So this, and I'm forgetting the exact event that he did last year, which was, we thought, a little on the crazy side, because it was like I forget if it was ran 100 miles or, now I'm forgetting the details, but it was an amazing physical feat that he accomplished last year. And now this year, he is going on an even more insane athletic endeavor. And just want to get it's a 3,500 mile endurance journey. And this is in honor of his fiance. If you remember the horrific accident that was easily preventable, but the car on Park Avenue, this is now 3 years ago, that went across the lane up on the sidewalk and hit the graduate student and killed her. This is her fiance, Matthew Hollingham, And this is called the Arctic Circle to Africa. There's a wonderful piece on this at statecollege.com. But it's the Arctic Circle to Africa Triathlon. It is 10 countries over 61 days. This will begin May 31st, and there's actually a kickoff event for him in this event over at Bull Brewing this evening from 5 to 7. He is an absolutely amazing and fun individual who apparently just likes putting his body through hell to raise funds, because this is what he does. Again, it is in honor of his fiance, who was killed in that horrific accident. But we're talking about Nothing's Promised. He took that tragedy and turned it into a fundraising opportunity by keeping himself in unbelievable good shape so that he can try these physical challenges. And it is just amazing. And we wish him the very best in his pursuit. Lavisa Arneson Cronham, I think, or Cronham, was his fiance who was killed.
She was a foreigner.
Hollingham is from they both
were? Okay.
Oh yeah, they came over together and go to grad school at Penn State.
It's horrible.
And
I remember the incident.
But he is just. I can't tell you how much fun it was talking to him about, and obviously a horrific reason that he has become famous, but he is such a neat guy and such an inspiration, and it is remarkable what he is doing in honor of his late fiance. Just truly inspiring stuff.
3,500 miles, huh?
Yeah.
60 days. Is that 50 miles a day?
It's bonkers what this thing is. If you read through it, it is. Triathlon is not quite the right term. Triathlons are impressive enough.
The Ironman, right?
That is crazy.
Triathlon's the Ironman.
Yep.
God bless.
But yeah, this is. We just get the exact. So it's 37. The equivalent of 37 back-to-back marathons, to give you an idea of just how crazy this is. It is a 2.36 mile swim. That's across the Arctic Circle in very cold water. Then 37 back-to-back marathons for 970 miles, and then cycling 112 miles a day for a total of 2,580 miles until eventually it ends in North Africa. That's
holy God.
Like, that shouldn't be humanly possible.
No, I don't think I could drive that.
But he is, he is just.
God bless him, man.
Yeah, he is truly.
How do you train for that? Like, what is your recipe?
Well, the most amazing thing is the diet that he has to, the amount of food and protein that you have to consume, along with obviously water and not just water, electrolytes and salt. This is, and even with it, obviously there are significant challenges, but this is planning to the extreme. Like, you've got to plan for each meal, each day, account for the amount of calories that are going to be burned.
You're running a marathon. You're carb loaded the night before.
Yes,
you're carb loading for tomorrow,
you're trying
but you're
to
starting to recover.
While you're yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he talked like the amount of physical pain that you just have to withstand. Like, you get it into your mind, because no matter how well you protect yourself, no matter how well you gear up, like, your body, again, isn't designed to do this. And so you have to figure out how to.
When was his last? He did something before like this.
Through.
When was that?
Yeah, that last summer. And
okay,
I mean,
so
this is just kind of.
I don't know if you know this,
does.
but when these guys do these extreme runs, they lose all their toenails.
They lose
everything.
It's
calluses, everything. Is he even recovered from that?
Well, I'm hoping.
Holy crap, man!
Yeah, it is. It is out there to even want to try such an endeavor, but we wish him the very best. And again, if you want to, if you're in the State College area and you want to help wish him well and give him a rousing send off, there are a bunch of friends and stuff are getting together at Bull Brewing tonight from 5 to 7. We do wish him the very best with it. All right, we'll take a break here. We're back with a final wrap on this Tuesday afternoon. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future. offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And back here on a Tuesday afternoon as get ready for the week in sports, and we didn't talk a lot about your Flyers and the postseason.
Their golf game
after.
Yeah, I'm just happy that Malkin and Crosby got the tee time set up.
Yeah,
so
everybody's
I gotta
ready
say
for
that again, Philadelphia their fans catch a lot of crap, but I thought that was pretty awesome. I mean, this is a young team that had no right being in the playoffs. One, but they made the run. They get in the playoffs and they beat by far their biggest rival. I mean, that's a successful season to me, and I think that the future is very bright for the Flyers right now. So the Canes and Avalanche are just head and shoulders above everybody else in this tournament, in my opinion, the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just unbelievable. But the way the fans, I mean, the Flyers get swept, losing overtime, and they're giving a standing ovation to the Flyers within a minute afterwards. And I was like, you know what? It is a proven fact that a Flyer fan is a lot different than an Eagles mutant. There's definitely, we're all Philadelphia fans, obviously, and this and that, but there's definitely a classier aspect to the Flyers, and it always has been. And I liked how they showed a lot of class by cheering those guys on and letting those guys know how much they appreciated their effort this year. And you listen to every one of them. It's unbelievable how happy they are and proud of it. And it's just a team thing, and we're building it. So speaking of hockey, True TV, which has had some NHL playoff games on it, the first round or so, they have a thing called the McKenna Project about McKenna up here at Penn State. His whole situation from last year when he visited Penn State, they had film crew with him up until the end of the season. And it was just really cool getting to know him a little bit. And you have to understand the pressure he's under. And you just got to say to yourself, the kid is freaking 17.
Yep.
And he is it's like Canada is weird when it comes to their star hockey players. I mean, absolutely weird. And, they all feel as if they have an opinion about everybody and this and that. And, Twitter killed, Gavin for a long time, because he didn't start off on fire. He sure as hell ended on fire. But, the first couple of games in the season, he wasn't having, 4-point nights and stuff like that. But then he goes to the World Juniors and they don't win it. So the people were already turning him. He averaged 2 points a game.
Yep.
And when I say the fans, I'm saying that the Canadian fans in general were all up in him, busting his chops, and then Gavin, who this kid's so overrated, yada yada yada. And then they left the juniors and they went to a winter break, and he went home, and he lives in the Yukon territory, dude. I mean, I'm talking Siberia pretty much. So I didn't know this because he doesn't look it, but his mother is First Nation, which is an Indian tribal, and her father was there, and they got into a story a story that it's a black mark in Canadian history that no one really talks about, and that was they took Indian kids off of reservations and put them in Christian and Catholic schools. Like we sort of did that with the Carlisle school. But that in the 1800s. This was when was Jim Thorpe at the Carlisle school? That was when he was a young child. But this was up until the 1900s. Into the 1900s, that was still going on in Canada. Yeah. And they were talking about his father was raised on one of these, and how he with everything he had gone, his grandfather, everything he had gone through. Obviously, the McKenna name is not First Nation. I believe his father looks, McKenna is obviously an Irish, Scottish name. So, but it was a really cool story. And then they came back from the World Juniors, and they didn't win the gold. And he didn't score 16 goals a game type of thing. So he was catching more crap for that. And then they come out and they, and again, they were just people talking the whole time about it. And then they go and it just clicked after the juniors. That one night he had 8 points against Ohio State, and Paul Bissonnette, that dude is really growing on me, man. He's one of the guys who's spitting chicklets, but he was a fringe NHL player, but he mucks around and kids around, and to me, he gets a little over his skis when he starts busting Wayne Gretzky's chops, and you're like, dude, you need to back off. That's Wayne freaking Gretzky, But he is really, in my opinion, he is really, really, he's come into favor in my world, in my mind. So he was talking, he was advertising, not advertising, but he was being interviewed on it. And he was talking about the pressure the kid is under. And again, he's 18 years old. And then, the best day of his life, they play Michigan State in front of 75,000 people. It was like Gavin McKenna. He was finally the stage that he was on and scored a big goal in that game. And then they go right to the incident downtown. And they really have to, it ended there pretty much with where was he being drafted at this point, And it was like some guys are like, he's not even in the top 5 right now, where he had gone in as the number 1 guy. And by the end of it, Paul Bissonnette goes on there. He goes, if anything, by knocking a guy out who called his mother this kid called his mother and broke that kid's jaw and an orbital and an eye socket, he goes, he deserved it. He's like, he's the number 1 pick in my eyes. And just funny how the mutant hockey players were like, he should be picked number 1. If anything, it's helped him type of thing. But when everything was said and done and the season was over, they didn't have the draft yet. It was just how many months until the draft. And the last thing was he is still ranked. He's come back to be the number 1 ranked skater in North America for the draft. So it's like, he played this whole season in State College, what they paid him. And it was a really cool show. It's on the True Story. It's been on a couple times so far. Check it out if you could find it.
Yeah.
But I do have another story for you about Steve Bass's funeral.
Yeah.
And I said, Jay did just an unbelievable job as a eulogist.
Not at all surprised.
I'm not. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that he's found a niche.
Yeah.
But he was talking about, anybody who knows Wayne will say this. The man was impeccably dressed at all times. He was just a smooth cat. I mean, everybody, all the brothers that were smooth dressers on the team, they always used to kid around like, damn, Doc, look what you got, And he's rocking like ascots and scarves and, all the old line guys like, hey, you look great, this and that. So we were just kidding around. But Jay and, Tim Curley, they had introduced Wayne to fly fishing. So he goes, sure as hell, he goes out there. He turns into one of the greatest fly fishers we ever met. He just took to it, loved it, worked at it. But he goes, we had him out there one time. And the next time we go out there, I mean, it was like a Versace Gucci outfit he had on, like a Versace hip waders and a Gucci fishing net and stuff like that. And it was just so funny thinking about it and looking at it and knowing Doc and, how he dressed impeccably all the time, that, yes, that's exactly how he would dress. He would somehow find a Versace hip wader, and he would be wearing a $4,000 hip wader out in the middle of Spruce Creek. So just some funny stuff and some laughs that were on during a very tough and emotional day.
Yeah. No, that's memories are the key, man. Yep. Like that's you got to cling to those. No doubt about it. Couple of other just news and notes, if you will. One of the things that is fun about having a kiddo who is going through the stages of sports fandom and sports participation, is seeing his development and what catches his eye and what he takes to and what he doesn't. He tried pitching for the first time over the past week in a game, but not the first time. First time this year, and first time where it wasn't just throwing the ball. So he's going through the windup. He's having trouble getting his balance, so he takes a couple of steps. And again, this is at the minor league division of Little League Baseball. And I will say I should have gotten the kids' names because they were terrific. It was a couple of young kids, I think high school kids that were umpiring. And the field umpire was terrific at, after innings, going over to pitchers in particular, but other kids as well, and just say, hey, just so you know, we're not calling it here tonight, but that is what we call a balk at the next level. You can't, once you start the windup. And we went over everything, and he understood it, and he's like, well, I just couldn't get my balance. I'm like, I get it. That's part of what you got to do, is before you get into the windup, you got to make sure you do have your balance. That's, all part of the learning process in the experience. But did well, had fun with it. But the other thing that my kiddo has really taken to is rock climbing. And it is just talking about and I understand it's not the same thing. Losing a person is different level. I'm not trying to equate the two. But I will say, when you have somewhere that you love and you feel at home and appreciated and you like going to, whether it's a favorite bar or restaurant that closes down, or, if a golf course you like to frequent gets sold and, or closes down, like it hits hard. And Climb Nittany has been, I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful that place has been. As my kiddo said, he said but it's not just a rock gym, it's a community. And I mean, he is crushed that it's closing here at the end of the month. If you didn't see the story, I'm presuming most that, at least in the climbing community, saw it. It is closing at the end of the month. My kiddo has been taking the class there for over a year, well over a year, and has loved it. And I just want to give a shout out to the staff there, the entire community. And my kiddo's explaining why it shouldn't close, and I'm like, buddy, I'm with you on all counts. I 100% agree, and I wish. And he even, this is the way his mind works. So he is explaining that it's not just a rock gym, it's a community, and that everybody there supports each other, and now we don't have the opportunity to support each other. This is my 10-year-old explaining to me why the rock gym shouldn't close, and I'm like, buddy, I'm with you. And we have seen it, that the strangers who don't know him at all, watching him try to get a route together and then accomplish it, and a wave of applause goes up. And it's not just for my kiddo, it's for other youngsters and, any age person. It's like, whoa, you did it, man. And it is such a supportive and cool community. And that staff there has been phenomenal. Like, we couldn't have asked for better support for our kiddo. So it is heartbreaking that place is closing here at the end of the month, and we're hoping that there's somebody else will open a gym. But the way his mind works, he's like, well, is it definitely closing? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely. He's like, well, can somebody reopen? And I said, well, I mean, theoretically, I don't think, it doesn't sound like that's what's going to happen here. And he says, well, maybe we'll get somebody like in the Hallmark movies, and they'll that somebody that's living in a city right now will come back and realize that their heart is with the rock climbing gym and that they need to save our community. I said, well, I mean, we can hope. So that's what he picked up on from the Hallmark Christmas movies that we are inundated
Small
with.
Town guy, big city
That's
guy
exactly
comes
right.
back to sell Christmas
and
trees.
saves the rock gym. So we are hoping.
Unbelievable.
It was pretty good stuff. But man, we do want to give a big thank you to Climb Nittany for all that it has done for our kiddo and for the community. It really has been a very, very neat place, and we'll hope that we get some kind of a Hallmark ending there to rejuvenate the place moving forward. Anything else catch your attention from over the weekend? I feel like I'm missing a story, but I'm not coming up with what it was that I wanted to touch on from over the weekend.
Mama's Day.
Yeah.
Missed that one. We got to celebrate that one this weekend.
There you go.
Flyers getting whooped. Philly's doing all right.
Yeah, there was something.
Well, Penn State basketball hired an assistant coach today. Came over from Sparty.
Yeah.
That was a good hire, I think. Good hire, eh?
It does seem like a good hire. I don't know that this is what I necessarily was thinking of, but I did want to touch on we were talking about Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
And his mom. I'll be the first to admit I'm probably not probably. I'm a hypocrite here, so I will own up to it because I am the law is the law type of person, generally speaking. I just, in this particular case, can we not just no, never mind. Like, you know where she lives. You know it was a weekend. The drinking age up there is 18, right? Like, I get it, and again, and it's not a major. I mean, I think she can just pay the.
Was she furnishing it to Gavin?
No,
because that was the thing that Gavin was not.
It sounds like no.
At all.
Well, that's not the accusation anyway.
Okay.
It was two underage. I think it was two females and a male. Might have been the other
He
way
has
around.
two sisters, so they could have been
two females and a male, and two of them had on wristbands, according to the one news story, and it's not clear whether or not the other person did. Which, I mean, I get it. Like, presumably they at least knew they weren't supposed to be drinking. Presumably she did too, like legally here. Yeah. I also, if you grow up. And again, you're in a foreign country. I'm with you. You need to know the rules there. And I mean, we've had some horrific stories about people not knowing when they travel overseas and stuff and what happens and all of that. I also think, given the totality of that situation and knowing what happened, it seems to me that maybe you just say, yeah, you know what, we'll eat.
But doesn't it seem like like it might have been like the district attorney was like, we got to press charges on somebody here, and she said, I'll take the charges, take them off of my son.
Well, no, they're still. I
thought they were dropped against Gavin.
No, they dropped the felony charge, but no, he's still on.
Oh, he's not going to get away scot free. Yeah, he's going to
charges. So
I'm interested to see if there's any kind of civil suit from this idiot who was literally the one saying all of these things, and you know, if it comes to that where he comes out being the guy who makes money on the situation, it's like done. Stupid. The world is over. The 1984 syndrome. The victim is the criminal, and the criminal is the victim. Because if that kid did what he did, according to all of the different, what I have read, and if somehow he gets out of this scot-free and gets paid somehow, it's complete bull.
I'm with you on that.
Yep.
And I get the physical violence should never be the answer to verbal. There's also, there is a point at which, hey, you've been told how many times,
what would you
knock
do right
it off,
now?
leave us alone. You need to knock it off and leave them alone.
Like,
so.
And they did.
But,
they left they left
Gavin they were
where supposedly everything was going down. They got themselves out of the situation, and it started right back up at their car.
Yeah.
So that kid was looking for a beating, in my opinion.
No argument.
So I also have a you would love this theory here. So with the Porter Marone with the Flyers coming out of Michigan State after the season, having a great, end of the season for Michigan State, then goes to the Flyers. Maybe the Toronto Maple Leafs say, you know what, Gav, we're going to draft you one, but go back to Penn State for another season, and we'll catch you at the end of the season. That is selfish, Goon, asking for something that will never happen. But it would be
the thought process,
something to wish for.
Though. I like the thought process.
Come back, Gavin. Come back. Come back. Come back.
Yeah, I like the thought process.
There we go.
A whole lot.
So,
all right, that is going to wrap things up for today's show. We will be back on Thursday. Until then, be good and be safe.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, Steve Collins.